So say you were married for, I don't know, 15, 20 years, and you guys had a wonderful marriage, but as some things come to an end for whatever reasons, you two could not work it out, but you still have children. And then so one spouse decides, okay, I'm gonna stay here in our house, and you and the other spouse, says, hey, I'm gonna move to the West Coast, but you still have these children. So how are the children going to go back and forth and see one parent? What if the work schedules don't work it out to where the parent is not able to fly with the children? What exactly are your options? And that's what I'm gonna talk to you about today when it comes to Delta. What are your options? Like if you have children, and let's just say a situation like that, what exactly can you do to make sure that both parents can spend time with the kids? And I'll let you know that when the intro begins.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.
How many of you wish that you knew someone that you... Hey guys, David the Ring here. Welcome to No Frontier. This is your travel platform. When it comes to all things travel, here is my job to encourage people to get out there, to create their own experiences and to form their own opinions. So as I was saying before, I gave the scenario about what if there was a pair who decided to break up and they live on different coasts or different parts of the country, but they have children and obviously they need to spend time. What if their schedules didn't work together? What are the options if you want your kids to see and spend time with both parents? Now today, I'm gonna give you the answer to that, but we're gonna focus on Delta Airlines today. So I don't know if you guys know or not, but there are different programs, unaccompanied minor programs, where airlines allow your kids to travel without you. Now you might say, I would not want my kids to travel without me. What are you talking about? How does it work? Now I must say, before you get so excited, just hear me out and then you figure it out, because a lot of things that aren't currently the norm to us today eventually becomes the norm, and that's with everything. There was a time where people, when these ride sharing services started, people would not imagine getting in someone else's car, right? Or sending their kids in someone else's car. So we have evolved, and this is how things work right now. So the overview of the unaccompanied minor program that different airlines have is pretty much you bring your child to the airport, as let's say if you were flying out them, you bring them out to the airport and you'll be given a pass that would allow you to go to the gate with them. And then at that point, the flight attendants, there's paperwork that your kids have with them. They'll also have a wristband in some cases. This way they'll be easily tracked throughout the duration of all of their legs of travel. So pretty much at every part of the travel segment, there will be someone who accompanies your minor. And like I said, you come to your local airport, you fly out, you come to your local airport, you help your kid, and then you can go with them to the gate, so you'll see them actually get to the plane. From there, once they land, then one of the Delta personnel will take them to baggage claim, where they'll meet the person on the other side. So that's that. So that's the idea. So now let me give you some context to help you out. So some of the things that comes along with the unaccompanied minor program is, like I said, you get your child gets a wristband. This way it helps track them. The wristbands, think of it like when you go to a resort, something that's scannable around your child's arm, so they can keep track and make sure everything is all good. Your children also have access to the Sky Zone Lounge. Now, for very important people, they usually have access, or people in part of certain programs, Delta programs, They're able to go to the lounge. There's refreshments, there's TVs in some cases. It's just like a more relaxed area that your kids can, be around until their flight is ready. They'll also have access to a Delta escort personnel that'll get your kids to and from where they need to be. Now, what ages are allowed to actually participate in this program? So if your children are 4 and below, they cannot really participate in this program. They're too young. 4 and younger is a situation where either yourself or maybe a family member or something like that, they'll have to travel with your kid. But if they get older, when they get older from age 5 to 7, some of these children can get on some flights that are non-stop flights. So they're not allowed to get on any flight, but some non-stop flights. It depends where it is, and that's what you'll have to check into. Now, what is the cost of that service? So in that situation, you have a 5, or 6, or 7-year-old, they'll be only able to go on some non-stop flights. They're still considered young, so it might be too much for them to, get different connections or different personnel running around with them. So to make it a little easier, the direct flight. So if it's like a New York to LA situation, it'll be $150. It'll be $150 each way. Now, or if your kids are a little bit older. So the third age segment is 8 to 14. Now, children that are 8 to 14, they may travel on some connection flights as well as some non-stop flights. The price is also the same way, is $150 each way. Now, we'll say that with the fee of $150, this is up to 4 kids. So if you're a parent, you were in that situation where you were married and you guys had 3 to 4 kids, that $150 in that case will cover up to 4 children, which is, you save money in that aspect. They're all together, so it's not that extra work for the escort to do, so it's under the same price. So that's pretty good. Now, if your child is between 15 and 17, they can be considered in consideration of the unaccompanied minor program if you want them to, but they don't have to be. They are free to fly on their own, and they can do the connections and everything else. If you want your kids to be in that program at that type of age, you still have to pay the $150. So how do you actually set this up so that your children are a part of this program? What you'll have to do is contact reservations, and I'm gonna leave the 800 number down below to help you guys out, but it's 800-325-8847, and that's the number you'll call, which is reservation, in order to let them know, hey, I want to be a part of this program, and these are the flight segments that I need to do. Before your kids fly out, there's some things that you want to make sure while they're getting ready that they have, so it'll make for a successful flight that they're going to have on their own without your help. So one thing you want to do is make sure your kids have snacks, games, or books, things that will keep them occupied while they're on their trip and keep them comfortable. Another thing is, it'll be good if they have like a small backpack so that they can put all these items in. This way they don't lose stuff, because kids, younger people have a tendency of leaving stuff behind, especially if they have a lot of luggage to deal with, for example. So you want to have them with a little bag. You also want to make sure that their check bag, everything is in there, and you'll help them when you get to the airport. So you won't have to worry about that too much, but make sure everything is in there, so when they get to their destination, they'll have anything. Lastly, you want to make sure that they have their ID with them, because their ID will be, the airline is going to give them some type of cover that they can put around their neck, so they can be able to show their identity at all times, and it's just an easier way to track your children. When your kids are about to depart, it's okay for them to have a designated a parent or a Delta personnel, go with them to the gate. But when your kid lands, you can't really get a pass to meet them at the gate and to walk them out. So at that point, you just have to wait for them at baggage claim. So hopefully all of this was helpful. I know a lot of you might not have known of this unaccompanied minor program. A lot of you don't know that children fly by themselves all year round. So this is something I wanted to bring to your attention. So if it's something that, hey, you may need in the future, you already know about it. So let me know, once again, some questions down below in the comment section, and of course I'll help you.